From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, February the 11th, 2020. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas addressed the United Nations Security Council this morning, where, as expected, he expressed his complete rejection of the U.S. peace plan for Israel and the Palestinians. Abbas also denied that the Palestinians never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity, saying we never waste opportunities for peace, also claiming that the Palestinians fight terror and are not terrorists. Abbas also seemed to defend President Trump, telling the Security Council that when he met with the president in 2017, he was promised that the U.S. would announce support for a number of key Palestinian positions. Abbas said something happened that led him, referring to Trump, to change his mind and fully support Israeli wishes. The President Trump I met, Abbas said, is not like that, and it is very surprising. Abbas said peace between Israel and the Palestinians is still possible, but he said the U.S. could not be the sole negotiator of peace. Abbas said we must reject this unjust plan. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, addressed the council after Abbas and noted that despite an open invitation to do so, Abbas has not met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in 10 years. Danon, citing past Arab leaders who have reached peace deals with Israel, like Egypt's President Anwar Sadat and Jordan's King Hussein, said if he was serious about peace, Abbas would be in Jerusalem or Washington, D.C., not in New York, saying that a leader who chooses rejectionism and incitement and terror is not a partner for peace. Danon said of Abbas, only when he steps down can Israel and the Palestinians move forward. Well, thousands of Palestinians protested against the Trump peace plan in Ramallah today. And in Gaza today, reports of a decision to stop the launching of incendiary balloons at Israel, though there were still such devices sent into Israel today. One landing close to a kindergarten, sappers were called to the scene to defuse it safely. The reported halt in sending the arson balloons came after an Egyptian security delegation visit and meetings in Gaza with officials from Hamas terror groups. Blue and White Party leader Benny Gantz said today that the Arab party, the Joint List, will not be part of his government should he become the next prime minister. The Joint List had endorsed Gantz in the last elections, something Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu condemned and used against Gantz. This morning, Joint List Chair Ayman Odeh said he would not back Gantz as prime minister unless Gantz rejects parts of the U.S. peace plan, including extending Israeli sovereignty to the Jordan Valley and other parts of the West Bank. On a tour of Arab-Israeli communities in Israel's north today, Gantz, who said he would implement the peace plan, said, I am not afraid to speak to any legitimate political party, but the Joint List will not be part of the government I form. He said Israel cannot tolerate support for terrorism or avoid condemnation. He said, my disagreements with the Joint List's leadership on the national and security issues are deep, difficult, and unbridgeable. Israel police opened an investigation into an apparent hate crime in the northern Arab town of Jish. The tires of 170 vehicles were slashed, and Hebrew graffiti condemning interfaith coexistence was found spray-painted on buildings. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu condemned the incident, saying he strongly condemns the graffiti and property damage in the village. He said, we will find the lawbreakers and bring them to justice. We will not accept any attacks on our citizens. Well, presidential hopeful Joe Biden rejected a plea from far-left Jewish group If Not Now to skip the AIPAC policy conference next month. As we reported to you yesterday, fellow candidate Elizabeth Warren was asked to boycott the pro-Israel lobby gathering during a town hall in New Hampshire Thursday night, and she agreed. But when an If Not Now activist asked the former vice president if he would follow Warren, he said no, that he would go to the conference to share his stance on issues and try to convince them of it.
No, because I'm there to convince.
Convince of what?
Convince them to change their position.
Pete Buttigieg, by the way, was asked as well if he would skip AIPAC, and he replied that he had not made any scheduling decisions and that he did not even know when the conference was. If not now, also reportedly asked the same of Bernie Sanders, who said he would not object to attending AIPAC. An Iranian judoka who was ordered to withdraw from a match in order to avoid facing his Israeli opponent, Sagi Muki, finally met with him. Iranian Saeed Mulai sought asylum in Germany after the World Judo Championship in Tokyo last summer over fears for himself and his family in Iran. Well, this week, Mulai and fellow world champion Muki, who had praised each other on social media, finally met in person at the Paris Grand Slam 2020 in France, posting a photograph and calling each other friends for life, sharing the hope that one day they may also be able to face each other on the mat. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, February the 11th at 7 o'clock. Israel's ambassador to the U.S., Ron Dermer, discusses some of the major issues relating to the U.S.-Israel relationship with Ethan Bronner. At 8, it's more from the 2019 ADL Never Is Now Summit with Ilan Carr, Joan Ryan, and Isaac Herzog discussing global approaches to fighting anti-Semitism. At 9, Mark Golub sits down for part 2 of his L'chaim interview with Mordechai Kedar. At 10, a look at the art of Norman Gorbati. And coming up right after this newscast, it's ILTV's Election Arena. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, February the 11th, 2020. I'm Teisha Bader.